Welcome to the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast. My name is Katie Dodd, and I'm a nutrition entrepreneur. I spent 7 years as a side hustler before diving into entrepreneurship full time. Before making the leap, I was bringing in 6 figures through my side hustle. If I can do it, you can too. This podcast is for dietitians, interns, and students who want to be inspired to start or perfect the side hustle of their dreams. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the 293rd episode of the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast. Happy Dietitian Day. So it's not too often this happens, but the very day that this episode is airing in 2026 is Dietitian Day. So I thought that I would record an episode all about dietitians and how amazing you all are. I have some random notes kind of spread all over the place. I'm going to go through lots of different things. But if you are listening to this live, and if no one's told you yet today, happy Dietitian Day. You are amazing, and I am so glad that you chose to become a registered dietitian. Now, I will say sometimes this holiday, this very important holiday, gets overlooked. So don't wait on someone else to give you a card, to get you a coffee or flowers or whatever it is you love. Go get it for yourself. Celebrate you today because this is an important day. And be sure to tell your colleagues and friends who are dietitians, happy Dietitian Day. So, what is Dietitian Day? So Dietitian Day is celebrated every single year on the second Wednesday in March. It also might be called Registered Dietitian Day, Registered Dietitian Nutritionist Day. You know, we got lots of names that we like to use. It was created by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and it does fall in the middle of March, which is also National Nutrition Month. So lots of celebrating this month with, food, nutrition, and then us on this wonderful day, the second Wednesday in March. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why I love dietitians and why I love serving all of you. I think back to the fall of 2020. I had just won a free month of business coaching with an amazing coach named Javier Carlin. And at our first meeting, I had a decision to make. Did I want to focus our 1 month together, focusing on my brand, The Geriatric Dietitian, which I had started about a year and a half prior. I started it in June of 2019. It was my blog. It was really starting to grow. I was starting to make money through this brand. Did I want to focus my efforts on The Geriatric Dietitian? Or did I want to focus my efforts on Dietitian Side Hustle? This little podcast that I started at the end of 2019, started a Facebook group, didn't really do anything with it other than giving it the name Dietitian Side Hustle. I was not active for a long time in that group. And my podcast episodes were dropping every other week. At this point, I saw Dietitian Side Hustle as a hobby. So I remember thinking, what direction do I want to go? What do I want to focus on building? What business do I want to go all in on? And honestly, you guys, it wasn't that hard for me to decide. I picked Dietitian Side Hustle because I truly love dietitians. I think that dietitians are amazing. If you listen to the podcast, you know this. I adore all of you. I am so proud to be a dietitian, and I just think that dietitians are the absolute best. Dietitians are helpers at heart. We are also leaders at so many levels. I don't think that leadership is a role or a title. I think that leadership can be done at any level, and I see dietitians as leaders. Dietitians care about others. They care about people's health, about their lives. It's not just about the specifics of nutrition, but about the whole person. Dietitians are also incredibly smart, science-based professionals, and also, as dietitians, there's so many things we could do in the profession. Now, I started this podcast. I know I mentioned this many times. I'll probably be talking about it soon when we hit our 300th episode. But I started this podcast as a hobby. I never thought that serving dietitians can become a big part of my business and what I do. But I just get so excited when I help you all realize what's possible, what potential you have, and help you to dream bigger and to dive into things you never thought was possible. I say this often, that I believe that each and every one of you listening has an idea in your head, a dream in your heart. If we could just get it out into the world would be radically changed by it. The big world, because of course people are changed by dietitians, but also your world. Entrepreneurship for me, starting a side hustle, it changed the game. It opened up opportunities and doors. It changed my life. It changed my children's life. It has given me time freedom. It has given me confidence. It has given me so many things I never imagined it could. So I love dietitians. I love Dietitian Side Hustle. Thanks for being here, friends. So I wanted to share some fun facts about dietitians. And I don't think that these are super surprising facts, but we know that 94% of dietitians are women, so 6% are men, and shout out to our dietitians out there. We know that dietitians work everywhere: hospitals, long-term care, community health, sports nutrition, food companies, media, research, entrepreneurship, education, the list goes on and on. But I think that dietitians also, we have a lot of unique personality traits and quirks. And it's actually pretty interesting when I was kind of just doing some high level research. There's a lot of research articles about like dietitian personality traits. But dietitians are compassionate and cooperative. They are persistent and hardworking. We are relationship focused, responsible and self directive, thoughtful and evidence based. We're like the whole package, friends. And as I was doing this research, and I think okay, a couple things. So when I was thinking about dietitians being 94% women, I was thinking about how lucky we are to be alive this day and age with all the opportunities that we have for business. And I'll talk about that in a second. But then I also look back, and it's crazy to think how not long ago, women, who again make up the majority of the profession of dietetics, didn't have a lot of rights, especially when it came to the world of business and money. Now, I recently ran into a fun fact, and I'm going to share it with you guys. There's another fun fact where women couldn't get credit cards without a husband's signature until 1974. That's not that long ago. That's not that long ago. I remember thinking when I heard that fact, I'm like, my mom was alive. My mom was like in high school, or I just graduated high school, and she couldn't get her own credit card. That's insane. And I remember thinking like, wow, I'm so lucky that I never, experienced any of this stuff, which I didn't. But I was also kind of surprised when I learned that when I was born in 1983, women could not get a business loan without a male cosigner. Isn't that crazy? So, I mean, obviously, when I was born, was I trying to get a business loan? No. Did that impact me? No. But it was very surprising that it wasn't until 1988, with the Women's Business Ownership Act, that women were allowed to get a business loan, money they needed to start a business, without a male cosigner. Isn't that crazy? So, so when I think of how lucky I am to be alive in this day and era and age, it's so wild to think when I was born, there were still limited rights against women. And I'm not going to go into all the weeds about rights and all the things, but I am grateful that we have access to things like the internet, that we have access to all of these opportunities that I talk about with Dietitian Side Hustle. I even think back to, even back in the 80s, if I was a dietitian, what would my side hustle be? It probably would be working with patients one-on-one, which y'all know I wouldn't want to do. And so there are just so many doors that have been opened, and what we have access to and what we could do even with just the phone in our pocket is just, man, what a time to be alive. So I'm not going to go into all the different dietitian side hustles because you guys have heard me talk about that. And if not, oh, oh. So I have a new freebie. I didn't add this to my notes, but last night lying in bed, I was thinking about this episode, and this is going to be a part of it. But I have a new freebie that I just created. It is called, I want to pull it up to make sure I get the exact name. You think I'd know the name of it, but it's a side hustle guide. It's completely free. It's like my newest freebie that I created. I will add it, or did I already add it? I'll tell you about my morning in a minute. If you're like, why is your brain not working? Go to katiedodd.com. Y'all know the drill. katiedodd.com is my Linktree page, and at the top it says free side hustle guide, over 35 ideas. So this is an ebook that I created. It is the complete guide to dietitian side hustles, 35 plus side hustle ideas to build income, impact, and freedom. So you go there, put in your name, email, phone number is optional, click send me the free guide, and you will get it immediately in your inbox. It is a really cool guide that shows you all of the different side hustle opportunities out there. And I have it broken down into the different categories based on like, are you more focused on like writing and content creation or media work or, speaking, more front facing work or behind the scenes business work? So it's a really cool resource. I've been working on this behind the scenes for a while and it is live for Dietitian Day. So maybe I should have led with that. But go to katiedodd.com to get your free guide for dietitian side hustles. Back to my scattering notes. Actually, I'll just tell you about my morning. So I went to bed last night and on my to-do list, I'm like, okay, record my podcast on Dietitian Day. I had to record some content for the Side Hustle Accelerator program that's going on right now, which is going amazing. It's been phenomenal, you guys. I can't wait for we're doing the beta right now. I can't wait for it to be wrapped up and to open the doors again because it's a really cool program. But I had a lot of things on my list. I was going to do a podcast interview. Oh my gosh. I'm bringing back to the podcast Alyssa Rumsey. She is so incredible. And a lot of things I was going to do today. But I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. with a horrible migraine. And you guys have heard me talking about my migraines. I've been getting them a lot. But this was like a next level migraine. I crawled out of bed, got my daughter ready for school. And I say that loosely. She really got herself ready, but just making sure timing was good while I'm laying on the couch. Got my son ready. Couldn't get off the couch. No lights. I'm under a blanket. I felt awful. I took my medication. You could take it again after 2 hours if it's not working. 2 hours later, it was not working. I was not okay. I had to cancel everything. I couldn't even sit up. It was such a bad migraine that I was like, maybe I should call my parents to bring me to urgent care because like, this is not okay. But then after both my kids got off to school, I crawled into my bed and fell asleep, which was a blessing. And I didn't wake up till noon. My Aura ring, it says that I was in bed for like over 13 hours. And I will say I woke up feeling kind of like, if you suffer from migraines, you know this, but kind of feeling like I have a hangover. Like the migraine was gone, but I still was not okay. I like crawled out of bed and went back to the couch for a few hours till my kids got home. And now I feel good now. And so I'm busting out all this work. That's what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get caught up because, oh my goodness, all these fun things that I had planned for the day and did not have migraine planned for this day. But anyways, that's just me. I don't know if I mentioned, I think I probably did, but I have met with a neurologist and been following up with all kinds of specialty providers, and I feel like I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. I'm going to figure this out, but holy moly, today was like a real bad migraine. So if my brain's a little fuzzier than usual, I feel like it's fuzzy on a good day. But if it's fuzzier than usual, that's why I'm dealing with a migraine hangover. Okay. So, one other fun thing I did. So I decided, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but like when you go ask ChatGPT to roast you. So I decided to ask ChatGPT to roast dietitians. Now it's kind of light and fluffy and I don't know. Actually, it's not mean at all, but it's all good fun. And of course I'm a dietitian too. And so I'm just going to kind of share some of the stuff that ChatGPT said because I thought it made me laugh. Some of it was accurate. Some of it was like so wrong. So ChatGPT said that one of the first things about dietitians is that we never give straight answers. Ask a dietitian a simple nutrition question, and the response is almost always, well, it depends. Now, I will say that made me laugh because I feel like, I know most of the work I do anymore is more business coaching and not necessarily nutrition, but every single answer I start with is, well, it depends because it does. Well, I guess I do with nutrition too, because like, I still do webinars and, when I do webinars for geriatrics, there's always questions at the end. And I think I always start with, well, it depends because it really does, right? It depends on the person, their medical history, their labs, their lifestyle, their preferences. So anyways, when ChatGPT said that, it made me laugh. So another thing ChatGPT pointed out is that dietitians cannot go to a grocery store like normal people. A normal person grabs something off the shelf and tosses it into their cart. A dietitian picks up a package, flips it over, reads the entire ingredient list, checks the sodium, the fiber, the added sugars, compares 3 different brands, then sometimes doesn't even buy it. And I will say I disagree with that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do that. But part of me, I was kind of laughing because I was like, no, as dietitians, we have like the nutrition content of most foods memorized. We don't even mean to. Like I think of, sometimes when my kids, like they grab some milk, I'm like I already know like the protein, the calorie count, like all the details. Like I feel like for the most part we don't. We just know what's in it already because we're like food people. But I will say sometimes I do get excited when I see a new product on the shelf because I'm like, ooh, what's this? But ooh, another thing ChatGPT said that I also kind of disagree with. ChatGPT also said that dietitians try not to judge what others are eating, but we absolutely notice. We're not saying it out loud, but we are quietly analyzing the plate. That's interesting fiber intake there. And that I disagree with because I think most dietitians agree with we try not to judge. Well, we don't judge. We don't try. I don't think any dietitians are judging what someone's shopping for and what they're eating. I think if anything, because we love food, we're looking at their plates thinking, that's delicious. I would like some. That cake looks amazing. Like we're not judging. And I don't think I've ever thought about someone's fiber intake, but let's see. Another one was that once people know you're a dietitian, you automatically become the nutrition hotline for your entire family and friend group. Suddenly you start getting texts like, is oat milk healthy? Is this yogurt good? Should I stop eating carbs? They're not wrong there. One final thing ChatGPT mentioned is that dietitians are one of the few professions there where it's completely normal to have detailed conversations about fiber, digestion, and bowel movements like it's no big deal. And I agree with that because we do talk about poop a lot. It's normal. Nothing weird about that. So anyways, that's all ChatGPT gave me. I'm like, that wasn't even a mean roast. But also I feel like I would probably argue with anything it said if it was mean because dietitians are awesome. Okay. Well, this is about 15 minutes of me babbling about dietitians, why I think you guys are so awesome, how I got into the space of working with you all, how amazing it is that we get to be alive in this world and we're able to do all these incredible things as dietitians, helping people, doing side hustles. And I guess I just want to end this by saying thank you. Thank you for being a listener of Dietitian Side Hustle. Thank you for being part of this community, part of this little section of the world. And I just think that you all are amazing. I love the opportunity to help and serve you. And I hope that you have the best dietitian day. Go to katiedodd.com, grab that freebie I made for you guys, and then go do something to celebrate you because you are awesome. Okay, guys, thanks so much for listening to the podcast. I will see you all next week. Bye.